Right. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Money Talk. Welcome to Money Talk, guys. Uh, as you know, this morning, I want to welcome you guys to another great day. Happy Thursday. And today, I have the pleasure to bring to you a great topic. As you know, this whole week we've been talking about the wealth formula, where we're talking about money plus time plus or minus rate of return minus inflation minus tax, and that equals wealth, right? And as you know, we've been talking about breaking down, how to find money. We've been breaking down, you know, how to understand a lot of things with time and how rate of return and inflation plays a major role in wealth building. And what must we understand in order to be prepared for this, right? And I think the key word is being prepared, and why it's important for us to be this way. Now, with understanding building wealth and the idea behind it, it all starts with a little word, and it's a very simple word, and that word is why. That's the word that comes to mind every time I think about building wealth. The word we all should use, the word that we should always ask, or the word we should say to ourselves, why? Why do you want to be wealthy? Why do you want to make money? Why do you want to be successful? Even why do you want to be healthy? Right? Why do you want to be happy? Why do you want to be sad? Why? Why is one of the most important questions we shall ask ourselves and ask others, so that way we can be in a better position to build wealth. So when you think about taxes, why do we have taxes? Right? The questions. Like I said, if you don't know the right questions to ask, then you won't understand the answer that you'll receive. But it starts with asking self, why? Why taxes? Well, let's think about the idea of taxes, right? Benjamin Franklin said, there's nothing certain in this world except for death and taxes. He go on to say that if you make money, they tax you. If you spend money, they tax you. If you save money, they tax you. And if you die, they still tax you. So everywhere you turn and you think, you always being taxed. You have income tax, sales tax, property tax, estate tax. So much taxation and so little representation. Sounds familiar? I thought there was a revolution that came from that. You see, we got to realize that taxes, yes, do we have to pay taxes? Absolutely. What are some of the things that taxes go into? Goes into things like Medicare. It goes into things like Social Security, right? They say it goes even towards the upkeep of our country. you know, and it protects us as citizens. But one of the things that I want you guys to really start doing is to start asking why, how, when, where. Because this revolution that is happening right now is going to continue happening, and you won't understand why. So let me break it down some more. And I want to break it down to a point where you truly understand it. You see, all this tax talk, and when you hear people say higher taxes, lower taxes, when you look at the higher tax bracket, who you think getting hurt by this? Majority of the people. When the taxes get lowered, who you think benefit from this? Not the majority of the people. Now you probably look and say, well, Ken, that don't make no sense. Okay. Let me break it down. You see, when taxes are high, right? When taxes are high, there's a difference between being a W-2 and a 1099. You see, when you're a W-2 worker, you have what's called a JOB, a job. Nothing wrong with it. I just want you to understand this about taxes. When you have a W-2 job, right? And when you come time to file your taxes at the end of the year, many of you guys look forward to what's called a tax refund. But it's not a tax refund. It's just taxes you didn't claim during the year. And it's almost like you say, Uncle Sam, hold on to this for me. And then when you file your taxes at the end of the year, guess what? You don't even get it all back because you still don't know how to file your taxes. So you got a refund of what you think you're supposed to get, but you really didn't get all of it. Now, here's the thing about W-2 and 1099 when it comes to taxes. W-2, you don't get no tax write-offs. You don't get tax credit. Meaning, when you drove to work and you put in all those miles to work, you can't write that off. When you eat lunch at your job, if you didn't bring it in, you can't write that off. When you pay for the clothes to go to work, if it's one of those jobs where you buy clothes to go to work and stuff like that, you don't get credit for that. If you had to, I don't know, pay for a repair on your car to get you to your job, you won't get credit for that. But as a 1099, because when you're in business for yourself and you drive from point A to point B for your business, you get credit for that. When you have to buy clothes to go do your business, you get credit for that. Right? It's called business expenses. And they have something called a Schedule C when you file your taxes. Now, I'm not a CPA. I'm just giving you advice of what I did for mine. So as long as you have all your receipts when it comes time for taxes, then you'll be prepared. You see, guys, taxes is an important role in our monetary system. And the lower the taxes is the lower business owners pay. Because we have something called a Schedule C. So the business owners and the wealthy is not the ones that's paying the taxes. Then who you think is taking up that bill? Aha. I hope you realize that majority of the taxes that is paid in this country is not by the wealthy, it's not by corporations, it's by the employees. Employees pay most of the taxes in America. Wealthy and business owners and 1099s, we get a lot of tax breaks and tax credits. And I remember a time when a person called Hillary Clinton was running for presidency. And she said that her tax law or tax bill that she's going to implement is called the Warren Buffett. And it was meant to tax the wealthy heavily. I know many of you knew that. They wanted to change some of the things that wealthy people and business and corporations have been receiving for all these years. Why do you think Warren Buffett spoke about it? And I would love for you to Google this. Warren Buffett argued that it's not fair. It's not fair that his secretary pay more in taxes as far as percentage-wise than he does as a wealthy billionaire. He said that wasn't fair. More reasons why I respect a gentleman like a Warren Buffett. But here's something else I want you to think about, if you didn't know. You see, the less that we pay in taxes, guys, is the less money collected to pay down the debt, our national debt. Do you hear me? The less we collect in taxes is the less we put towards our national debt. Now, I want you to think about that. Think about that. So you may get excited that taxes is lower. Taxes is lower. It's a good thing, Keon. It's a good thing to have lower taxes. Until I said, do you know what that affects? The effects are our national debt being paid. And if our national debt is not being paid down, then the interest upon that debt keeps growing. So what you gonna do? Which is right, which is wrong. See, we must learn, guys. And we must learn. We must understand. Because that national debt that keeps growing and growing and growing every day, if we don't pay it off in our lifetime, it's not fair that our grandkids would have to in their lifetime. That's not fair. That's not fair. Because how is it that we could live off one person's prosperity and go on and live life without it? How is that fair, guys? Right? It's not fair. If I remember correctly, I think Benjamin Franklin said it best when he says that in this world, nothing can be said to be certain except for death and taxes. But if I remember correctly, I believe he was the same president that also said that one shall not acquire debt that they cannot pay in their lifetime. Because I've always heard people say, you know, when I die, my debt disappear. Who told you that? Who told you that that disappeared? When someone speaks this way, I know for a fact that is illiterate. That is illiterate thinking. This person does not understand economics. This person does not understand economics. So we must learn. And that's the reason why I'm being patient on this topic today. So here's the thing, guys. Many of us never understand what is called capital gains tax. And many of us don't understand what is capital loss either. Now, what is capital gains? Capital gains means that if you started with an asset, it could be in stocks, it could be in real estate, because I know a lot of people love to say, oh, I got equity in my home, blah, blah, blah. And you guys got sold the Kool-Aid and you drink it so well because everybody tell you they got equity in your home. It's a great asset because you appreciate over time. The cost of the price of it will go up over a period of time, but you don't understand when the price goes up, it means that the purchasing power goes down because that's due to inflation. So you guys will believe that a house is a good property to hold, and you think the asset. And you got to ask yourself, how would that asset be taxed? You know, here's another question I got to ask you. Do you truly ever own your home? Can you ever truly own your home in America? A lot of people say, oh, I'm a homeowner. Do you really own that home? You want to know the biggest test I could test you right now to let you know that you're not truly a homeowner? Here's a test. If you paid off all the mortgage of your house, right? You own the mortgage now, right? Let's talk about the real now. You own the mortgage. Here's what I challenge you not to do. I challenge you to not pay your property taxes. I challenge you to not pay your property taxes after you own your mortgage, and then come back on Money Talk. I hope Money Talk will be here for the next 20 to 30 years. And I want you to tell me, do you still own your home? Do you still own your home? Guys, stop drinking the Kool-Aid. Stop drinking the Kool-Aid. So if you did sell that home, you bought it for $100,000, and when you sell it back, you got $300,000. So you got what's called capital gains. The capital gains on that house when you sell it, a lot of people like to call it equity, is now $200,000. You made $200,000. Once again, if the price goes up on the house, just know that the purchasing power of the money has gone down. It's called inflation. Right? It's called inflation. The cost of living gone up. The cost of the home gone up. That's inflation. Some people say, well, Kia, what about if the development of the property of the neighborhood is actually the reason why the houses will go up due to the nature of development? Yeah. AKA gentrification. AKA the squeeze. AKA legalize redlining. Cool. Can you capitalize on it? Yes. Just know that it comes with some taxes, though. So what's the tax you got to pay? You got to pay capital gains if you made some money off that. And you're going to be taxed upon Not what is bought, but what is made upon what it was originally cost. So you got to pay tax on that. Same thing with stocks. Same thing with any other assets, any other investments. You got to pay tax on it. It's called capital gains tax. So now, same thing with capital loss. You bought a house for 100,000, you sell it back at 50,000. You lost 50,000, so that's a capital loss. You get credit for that as well. What about on your credit cards? When you pay your credit cards and you pay the interest, did you know that you could write those off on your taxes as well? Right? You could write those off. Many of you have been paying these credit cards, these student loans, these mortgages. Did you know that the interest, why do you think on your home, when you buy a home, they tell you, oh, it's a good tax advantage because you could file taxes. Because yes, you could write off the first 15 years of the taxes on your mortgages. Absolutely. You get credited. Right? So these things, see, tax is not that hard, guys. But when it all comes down to this, how about this? When you break it down into 3 ways your money gets taxed. Your money is either taxable money, or is it a tax deferred money, or is it tax advantage money? But you got to pay attention to which class is your money in. If your money is in a taxable bracket, that means your money is in your checking account, savings account, CD, stocks, and mutual funds. 85% of the population put their money right there. Right there. And then you have 10% of the population that use tax deferred, which is their 401ks, 403bs, 457s, IRAs, SEP IRAs, annuities, and pensions. People use these for retirement vehicles. They call it their retirement plans. And nothing retirement about it, but okay. 401k, 403b, 457s, these are all tax codes. They're all tax codes. You don't believe me? Go research a gentleman named Ted Benner. Don't believe me? Go to YouTube, watch a video. It's called PBS 401k. Search that in your search engine when you go to YouTube. PBS 401k. It's called a Frontliner, right? It's a documentary done by PBS Frontline. It's about 55 minutes and 44 seconds. You should watch it. It's the best thing you can invest to yourself. But how about the fact that 5% of the population know about tax advantage bracket? And this is the bracket where you have things like a Roth IRA, or anything with a Roth, because there's a 401ks that are Roths too. So anything with a Roth, 529 college savings plan, municipal bonds, health savings account, life insurance, and long-term care benefits. These are some of the vehicles that get tax advantages, but it's only 5% of the population that use it. So what does it mean to get taxed now? Tax now only means that, and the money that is taxed now is taxable money. So taxable money means that any earnings in these accounts that I talked about earlier, you have to report and pay tax on it. Any dividends that is taken from your stocks, mutual funds, money market funds, right? You have to report and pay tax on it as well. 85% of the population use that. And then you have what's called tax deferred, which means that the money is pre-tax. All pre-tax money is money that's deposited in an account. And this money that's deposited in an account is money that you haven't yet paid income tax on, but you definitely pay taxes on it later on. That's why they call it tax deferred. Because the money is not taxed now, but they tax you later on every withdrawal. That's why they got rules. They said you got to wait till 59 and a half. And if you wait till 59 and a half, they're going to tax you as ordinary income on every withdrawal. Okay? So every withdrawal you'll be taxed, and at the end of the year, it counts as an income, you're taxed. Then here's a catch-22. If you take it before 59 and a half, you're going to lose 10% penalty in a penalty, in addition to paying taxes. Also, guys, you can't keep your money there forever. You got to start taking it by your 70 and a half birthday, or you're going to lose 50% of your money because you failed to take out the required minimum distribution. But you know, there was a Secure Act that was passed January of this year and they moved the RMD. They moved the RMD age from 70 and a half to 72. But you got to go find out, did your company abide by that new act that was passed, that new law? But why is it only 5% of the population know about tax advantage? Tax advantage means that the money you put in is money that get taxed in the beginning, but most of the time when you want the money back, you don't have to worry about paying taxes on the withdrawals because you already paid taxes on that money. So you pay the money putting it in, and when it grows, you don't have to pay no money on it. That's why they said that vehicles like a Roth IRA, 529, college savings plan, and life insurance, these are popular investment vehicles that get tax exempt distribution. Why you didn't learn that? So you got to think about, where do you want to be taxed when you need your money? You got to think about, how do you want to be taxed when you need your money? Do you want to pay taxes before or after? If I was you, I would pay my taxes before than to be taxed as ordinary income for the rest of my life, or to be taxed every time my money earns money and I take it. I'd rather pay my taxes now. Because the question you got to ask yourself, and I'm going to leave you with this thought. The question that I want you to ask yourself is, can you predict what taxes will be in the future? Can you predict what taxes will be in the future? And if you cannot predict what taxes will be in the future, then how do you want to be taxed? How do you want to be taxed on your retirement vehicle that you choose to either save and invest in? That's a question you must ask yourself. And you got to ask yourself it many times. Many times on many. Because many of us is looking towards our future, and we don't ask ourselves, how can we build wealth? Money plus time plus or minus rate of return minus inflation minus tax. That, my friends, equals wealth. The wealth formula is the ultimate guide, and it helps you to understand how to navigate through the complex, confusing, long jargon of building wealth. That's the reason why we tell you guys to come on Money Talk, so we can have a quick money talk and break down some of these understanding, so that way you too can understand how to start winning the money game. So what I want you guys to do, is just always remember, you could continue this money talk. All right, continue this money talk. You could check us out on our Spotify. Go to our YouTube channel. Subscribe, like, comment, listen. Just type into YouTube, Money Talk with Mr. Finance. Go to SoundCloud, iTunes. And that way you can get the access. Share the videos. This video will be available by 6 p.m. today, if not earlier. We have over 40 episodes of Money Talk already. There's a lot of great things you can listen to on the go and empower yourself and share the knowledge with others. It's important that we learn, guys. It is very, very important that we start learning and having better understanding. So one more thing I want to give you guys, some updates on is that every week we have a different topic. But more importantly, we have classes where you learn the 4 steps to financial freedom. Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, Sundays at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, 12 p.m. Eastern Time, and 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Invite your friends, your families, and loved ones to come in and learn. So that way they could be in a better position. Screenshot this, share this with somebody, send them an invite. Invite them so they could learn as well. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in. It was such a pleasure. I hope you learned something today. I hope you got a lot of information. I hope you got a lot of insight. So I just want to tell you that you're always one decision away from changing your future for the better. So always remember, the choice is yours. My name is Keon Corniff, also known as Mr. Finance. And until next time, I'll see you guys tomorrow, where you guys will get to learn how to create a stronger financial foundation and how to really use the wealth formula as a plan. So if you want to have a financial goal and know the plan to achieve the goal, you don't want to miss tomorrow. All right? So thank you guys. It was such a pleasure. Have a blessed Thursday. God bless. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Later, guys. Bye-bye.